squirrel.
How's the school uniform? You might have thought you went to school.
Should I stay or should I go now?
Educational welfare service. Reason for being off school today? Was it mummy taking you shopping? Oh, mummy.
Winning the war against truancy is one of the government's top priorities.
Brush and tool wise, then you've truanted. It's not a good start, is it?
It's already ploughed more than £650 million into the campaign to get Britain's kids back into school. But is it working?
Well, it's about 8 to 9 children.
Looks like it's still fresh. Looks like in canvas here.
Our cameras have spent a year on the streets following the work of police and education welfare officers in northwest England.
Why are you not in school today? Hiya, have you got some ID?
You could be in a lot of trouble, your mum could be in a lot of trouble.
Can't be bothered with this, man.
Their job is to work closely with children and their families from all walks of life and find out what is going wrong.
What do you want to happen? What can we do to encourage you to come back into school?
But it's the parents who find themselves on the front line. In one house in Bolton, the daily battle is just beginning.
Ashley, it's 10 to 8. You can't go back to bed, you're going to school. Give me the quilt. Give me the quilt. Will you kick me? Got away with that yesterday, not doing it today.
Karen Brooks is a full-time mum with her work cut out.
Jamie. Jamie. Come on, I think I always wanted about 3 kids. But they just kept coming until we got more.
In fact, Karen has 8 children aged between 3 and 19.
Come on, are you getting dressed? Please.
Getting them all up and out on time is a major operation.
Danielle? 8:10. This is why I don't have to go to keep it.
The children's dad is unemployed labourer Steve. He's been Karen's partner for 20 years and his job every morning is driving the kids to school. But it's Karen who's left to cope with the tantrums from 10-year-old Ashley.
Oh, please, you are going to school. A minute. Doesn't matter what you say. You are going to school. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. It wears you down, really wears you down. A couple of months ago, I was crying every day. I didn't want to stay at home, I wanted to leave. But I just thought, if she breaks me down, then she's won. No, I can't look after everybody else then. And that's the way you've got to keep going. No, not let her win. Don't push him. And she won't. She won't.
It looks like Karen has won this morning's battle to get Ashley off to school. But 5 minutes later...
Why are you going to school? What are you doing for a day? You're going to school, Ashley. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You can stand up if you like. I know I am. I've got to be put up with you.
Karen knows that she'll be the one held legally responsible if her children don't go to school. With 50,000 kids truanting from Britain's schools every day, the government has already taken unprecedented action.
Good evening. In the first case of its kind, a mother has been jailed because she failed to stop her children playing truant. Officials say they tried several other ways of resolving the problem before taking the case to court.
Patricia Amos couldn't believe it when she was sent to jail in May 2002 because 2 of her daughters were truanting from school. As a single mother of 5, she had been struggling for years with a heroin addiction and was totally dependent on her own mother to help run the family. But then her mother died.
she was the one that was looking after the children, so to speak, so they were like more like sisters to me than they were my own children. And when she died, everything just seemed to go haywire.
Without their grandma's firm hand, 15-year-old Emma and 13-year-old Jackie began skipping school on a regular basis. But no one could have predicted the outcome. When Patricia was sent to prison for 60 days, it was a wake-up call for all of Britain's parents. In a few months following her jailing, truancy levels fell dramatically. For the first time, the government was holding parents directly responsible for their children's school attendance.
I think they were justified in the fact that it brought me back to reality. It made me realise that they were my children and my responsibility.
When she came out of jail, it looked as though she'd learnt her lesson.
It breaks my heart to think of it as somebody else's child. I'd be disgusted. And now it's me, I'm disgusted at me. We've passed that now, and hopefully, well, not hopefully, it will be better.
But 2 years later, Patricia Amos is being taken to court again for the very same offence.
Ashley, what are you playing at all? What are you trying to prove?
10-year-old Ashley regularly runs away from school. In the last 8 weeks, her attendance has dropped significantly, leaving her parents in the firing line.
Ashley!
Bolton Education Authority is now threatening to prosecute Karen and Steve.
Ashley! Ashley, what are you trying to prove? The law says I have to get my child to school, but could you honestly tell me you could get her to go to school? With everything I'm putting up with? Don't look at the mental side of what the parents are coping with.
No, that's your own fault. Get up.
Get up.
Get up. You tried to kick me, Ashley. Now get up.
Karen has no idea why her daughter is refusing to go to school.
Listen.
She isn't being bullied or having any particular problems with her lessons.
We believe, you know, to every excuse, and there is none. It's just Ashley. Like at school, they've done everything for her, and so have we. I mean, she's always been difficult, you know, but this is terrible. That's not my daughter.
As she faces a truancy prosecution for the second time, Patricia Amos is wondering what's happened to her daughter too. 14-year-old Jackie had promised to turn over a new leaf and go back to school full-time. For a while, she kept her word.
When I went to prison, I felt guilty, so I thought, well, I got to go. So when I went, then I just realised what I was missing out on, and I liked it.
But the improvement in Jackie's attendance turned out to be short-lived. Before very long, she was skipping school again.
I've tried. I've even sent her in a taxi. I've put her on the bus in town. I've took her into town with me in the morning, and that's at 8:30. She's got plenty of time to get to school on the bus.
The situation just got worse.
We don't need no education.
Jackie's now been truanting for the past 6 months. Patricia believes there is nothing more she can do.
I feel I've lost all control with her. Jackie is drinking, not going to school, being rude, ignoring me, just not taking any notice of me whatsoever.
As Patricia waits for her day in court, she is refusing to take the blame.
I've sent her to school. There is no way I am going to plead guilty to something that I have known nothing about.
Karen and Steve are only too aware of the lengths some parents have to go to get their children to school.
Children don't understand the prospects of being taken to court. I've even mentioned to Ashley, well, they'll take you away, you know, away from me, away from your family. I'm not bothered.
Stop crying.
It's now 9:15, and with Ashley only 15 minutes late, Karen and Steve have won a minor victory. But it's taken its toll.
Well, she scratched all my hand. She kicked me. Knocked herself on the floor, but she didn't want to go in.
It remains to be seen whether Karen and Steve are doing enough to stave off prosecution. In Oxfordshire, magistrates have reached their verdict in the trial of Patricia Amos. Despite trying to put the blame on her daughter, it's Mum who's been found guilty of failing to send Jackie to school.
I feel they are using me as a weapon against other parents. It's cheaper to prosecute me than to prosecute like 20 other people. And just one court case wakes everybody up. And parents know that they'll go to prison.
Patricia is now waiting for the magistrates to decide what her punishment will be. She'll either receive a fine or be sent back to prison. The Lancashire town of Bolton takes pride in tackling the truants head-on.
Excuse me. Just have a word with him, please.
In the last 4 years, they've succeeded in cutting the number of kids on the streets by half. And it's all down to regular truancy sweeps like this one.
What's in your bag?
These two 12-year-olds claim they've been given time off because their school has a teacher's training day.
Where's the school uniform in your bag? I thought you went to school. Yeah.
PC's Trish Shepherd and Mick Fletcher take the children to a special interview area inside council offices.
Why we take the uniform off if you've got no school?
Heading the team is Mary Holiday. With 14 years' experience as an education social worker, it's her job to get to the truth.
Let's start from the beginning. Dry your tears. What's your name?
Jasmine.
So, it's 12 o'clock and you've just been picked up in Bolton Centre, so just tell me what you were doing there.
Well, this girl said to me today that the teacher's training day, but I didn't know what it was, so I didn't go, but my mum said go mad.
Because it just looked like when you were brought in that you planned it all, you know, you've not got your uniform on, it's stuffed in your bag, you've got your hard new clothes on.
Yeah, but my dad's going to kick me out and get fined and all that. I won't be able to go on holiday.
Where are you on holiday? Oh, goodness me.
While Chelsea's friend Adam's questioned next door, Mary checks out their story with the school.
We've picked up 2 of your pupils, we just wondered if you could confirm it, please.
Another town dedicated to tackling the truants is Bolton's neighbour, Bury. Its schools have some of the best pupil attendance records in the country. On patrol today is Vicky Hadfield, who's only been an education welfare officer for 2 months. This is Vicky's first ever truancy sweep, and she and PC Gary Cotton are about to face an unexpected challenge.
Hey, can I just have a word with you, please? I'm from the Education Authority. So where'd you go to? The PLC?
The PLC, or Pupil Learning Centre, is a local school for children with behavioural and emotional difficulties.
So why aren't you in today?
So the school knows why he's off school, and so does the education.
Right.
The boys' 2 sisters, who are no longer at school themselves, explain that their 15-year-old brother is only on half days. But Vicky still needs to check things out.
Right, can I have your name, please?
Won't even give his name to the place. That's just the way he is. He's not like me.
Also, quite easily, you're in a place of safety, you come to the police station,
I do not believe it.
Gary decides it's best to take the boy out to the shopping centre for further questioning, as things are clearly hotting up. Back in Bolton, Bolton, Mary's discovered that Chelsea and Adam have been fibbing.
Right.
They should have been at school as usual today, but it seems that this is their first offence.
Right, it's quite good news really. The attendance on the whole is very good, particularly for Adam. He's exceptionally good, and Chelsea's had a few holidays, but on the whole it's very good.
But there's bad news around the corner. Working on a hunch, PC Trish Shepherd has made an interesting discovery.
The young lad brought a pair of socks out of his bag, which obviously aren't intended for him. So I said, "Whose are these for?" And he said, "I've pinched them for her." She was fully aware that he was taking them.
Stealing the socks may have started off as a bit of a dare, but it could backfire. The store may well decide to prosecute the children. At the shopping centre in Bury, Gary Cottam is calling for police backup.
One of your parishioners here with a bit that's kicking off.
Just calm down.
While Vicky copes with the boys' sisters.
Right, Kieran, there's no right taking him. I've just been on for a cop shop. Just drop him anywhere. No, I'm just here too, man.
Just calm down. None of this is called for. All my job is to do is to ask the young people that I see out in the shopping centre.
Well, I think there's so much
Excuse me. I work for the education, but you're just getting yourself all wound up for nothing.
Yeah, that's because I'm looking out for my brother.
Yeah, and I'm not here to cause problems.
Well, but I know how it feels because I've got his job. End of the day, nobody should have took him. And I don't care who it is. That's what's done me. That's what's fine. No.
With the police backup now at the scene, Gary decides to talk to the older sister in private in a bid to calm things down.
If you just said your name, it wouldn't have been a problem. I wouldn't have had all this fuss.
15 frustrating minutes after they were first stopped, Vicky finally gets the information she needs and they are all allowed to go.
Everything's calmed down now, and I think they've walked away feeling a little bit silly really, because if they'd given the details in the first place, it wouldn't have happened. So...
In Bolton, Chelsea and Adam are anxiously waiting to find out if they're going to be prosecuted for shoplifting.
Most of all, we are ashamed. Just ashamed of what we've done. And you can see that Chelsea's upset. She knows we shouldn't have done it.
Well, it should never happened. I'm not going to be able to go on a holiday and stuff.
It's the first thing I've ever done at that time.
Finally, they're put out of their misery.
I've just spoken to the store. The store are happy at this occasion for them to get told off and be sent on the way.
Chelsea and Adam will be escorted back to school. The 12-year-olds will be a lot safer in class than they were out on the streets.
They're extremely vulnerable. Now it's lucky we picked them up because they would have been wandering around all day and going home possibly telling the parents a pack of lies really, and maybe we've shocked them enough for it to be an end. And they know they can't get away with it.
Chelsea still has to find out whether her dad will let her go on holiday to Turkey. It's D-Day for Patricia Amos. She's about to be sentenced for failing to send her daughter to school.
Why can't you just all leave me alone?
After her jail sentence, Patricia vowed to get her act together and stop her daughter Jackie playing truant. 2 years on, she's still promising to change her ways.
I will just be so pleased to get it all over and done with, and I will make sure I myself personally take her to school and hand her over to somebody in authority at school. Then that way I can't get the blame, you know, for her not being there. So I'll have done my best like I've done all along.
The magistrates were not convinced. They've decided there's only one option, and Patricia is heading back to jail for 28 days. The education authorities are hoping that her prison sentence will send a clear message to other parents that they mean business.
Ashley, you ready? We're going to come. Ashley.
In the Brooks household, with the threat of prosecution hanging over her head, mother of 8 Karen is still trying to get Ashley ready for school.
It's hard work to keep coming up
down.
10-year-old Ashley has now been playing up for 3 months, and yesterday she refused to go into school yet again.
Another trip down the stairs.
But Karen doesn't have to cope with these problems all on her own. Education social worker Anne Carey has been working closely with the family and doesn't want them to be prosecuted. She knows Karen is trying and believes she deserves more time and support.
There's a lot going on in that family. You know, it's a very large family, a very busy household.
Right, court. Jamie!
But I think the big issue is Karen and Ashley's relationship.
Ashley! What's wrong with you? What are you crying for?
All children need attention, and it's a fine balance really of when Karen actually gives that attention and positive attention, so that when Ashley's not getting the attention through misbehaving or not attending school, and we need to look at how she deals with that really.
Come on, move. I just don't understand the change of Ashley though. She's always been difficult, hasn't she? But
no, she's just got murder. It's like
she's going worse.
possessed.
Yeah. We just don't know what to do with her at all. But I can't remember being like that at 10-year-old.
Teenage thing, yeah, but she's going for it. I think she's going with it. Just performing.
Yeah. Come on, we're going to be late. When Ashley's kicking off, I always think, you've got your mummy and you've got your dad and we're all still together. No, and I think she should be grateful. Is your tutor somewhere? I'm the youngest girl of 12. Because I've been fostered out and I've not always lived at home with my mum and we didn't get much love off my mum. That avenue was right. I'd love to be the perfect mother, but I'm not. It's hard work. Very hard work.
But Ashley is not the only problem.
Right.
2 of Karen's other children also have bad attendance records.
Danielle, if you want toast, there's no bread.
Danielle is 15 and she's bottom of her class when it comes to timekeeping. She is regularly 2 hours late, which officially counts as half a day's absence. That means she's missed 22 days out of the last 60.
High school boring. I've been there too long. Teachers get on my nerves. Talk to you like they're your mum or something.
Her brother, 12-year-old Dean, is only in his first year at secondary school, but he's already been excluded 3 times for bad behaviour.
I think keep getting excluded because of my attitude and the teacher's attitude. The way I answer back. If the teacher always shouts at me, so I shout back at them. I try to keep myself out of trouble, but I just can't.
Checking up on pupil attendance is the top priority for education social workers in Bolton. Anne is based at Dean and Danielle's school and believes they're undermining all Karen's efforts to get them an education. She's decided it's time to confront them head on.
Yes, you have been in, but you've been late. You were late this morning.
Yeah, I was late this morning.
Right.
Oh.
Were you late as well? So what I'm saying to you today is, if those lates don't improve, then we will be prosecuting your mum. Now, I don't want to do that, but you two hold some responsibility in that. So there's no wagging it, no kind of bunking off lessons. You need to be here, don't you? All right. You've got some responsibility, Dean, to help your mum and your dad, haven't you? So you're clear now that if things don't improve, then that's an option we'll still take. We'll still look at prosecuting your mum and dad. All right. But you should be, though, shouldn't you, Danielle? Because at the end of the day, if your mum and dad are prosecuted, there'll be a fine. And so I mean, if you want your mum and dad to pay a heavy fine.
I'm in the start going up now.
Good lad. That's good. Right, you get her up and all then.
How can the government prosecute the parents? It's down, you know, to the child to realise the dangers in not going to school for the mum and dad.
Manchester Airport, 12-year-old Chelsea is counting her blessings. She's been allowed to join the rest of her family on their 2-week holiday to Turkey. Her obvious remorse convinced Dad Lee and Mum Diane that her away day in Bolton was a one-off.
I was shocked when I got a phone call about Chelsea wagging school, but I think she learned a lesson now. And she won't be doing it again, she tells me. It's the first time she's ever done it, and hopefully it'll be the last.
So Chelsea got away with her one-day truancy. And to top it all off, she's going on holiday during term time. Today, turning up for school has been no problem for 10-year-old Ashley. Yesterday, however, she threw another tantrum and refused to go in. So Anne decides it's time for a visit.
So do you want to talk about yesterday, what happened?
Nothing, but I just felt sick in the morning.
Was it that you were sick or you just didn't want to come into school?
I just didn't want to come into school.
Right, so it wasn't about you being sick really, was it? Right?
No.
In the future, if you carry on like saying that you're not well, when you genuinely aren't well, people won't believe you, will they? Okay, it's like crying wolf, isn't it?
Ashley's obviously feeling better today. Once she's in school, her teachers say she's usually well behaved. The only difficulty is getting her there in the first place. And they're finding it very hard to pinpoint the root cause of her problem.
Some days I miss school because I don't like the lessons that I'm in. I don't like maths some days because the times is too hard. I like coming in school today because my friends are here. I need to come to school because I feel it's important because I need to work for the jobs. I want to be somebody that looks after children when the mums don't look after them properly. Mama, yeah.
In the past, cases of truancy took up to 6 months to get to court. But now the government has speeded up the process, and parents can be fast-tracked to prosecution in just 2 to 3 months if their children regularly skip school. Anne has had to give Karen an ultimatum.
From a personal point of view, I mean, I don't want to take this family to court, but if we've tried everything else and it's still not happening for the family, then we have no alternative, because at the end of the day, the law's being broke.
Karen has just 2 weeks to make improvements.
I said to my daughter last night, Ashley, if you don't go to school, if you refuse from now on in the morning, I will put your uniform in a bag and your shoes, and I'll take you to school like you are, in your pyjamas.
Next time, Karen faces yet another crisis.
He's been excluded for assault.
The Truancy Patrol discovers an abandoned baby.
It's just unbelievable what could have happened.
And teenage truant Dale is kicked out on the streets.
Today it's my 16th birthday, and it's obviously got to be the worst one I've ever had.
Next tonight on